welcome to Shine Bright Homeschool. I'm so glad you're here today. Welcome to Shine Bright Homeschool. Today I am diving into Algebra 1 from Denison Algebra. This is the student textbook, and I wanted to give you all a look inside and kind of give you an idea of if algebra with Denison Algebra is something that you want to look into further. Now, we do have our daily videos that we do watch with our lesson. We are actually almost 2 weeks into this, so the entire first chapter actually is done. You will probably see that. I'll just do a quick glance, so forgive my son's scribbles, but he's definitely enjoying it so far. And because we did pre-algebra with Denison Algebra last year for 8th grade, this first chapter or two are basically reviewing what we've already gone over. So it's fairly simple right now. But I want to give you a glance through this. It is a very big textbook, as you can see. I'll give you a glance in the teacher's manual as well, but I'm going to give you basically the overview here of the chapters first. So here's your table of contents. You could probably see this easily online if you want to look at the link down in the description below. There's chapter 1, which is integers. Chapter 2, variables. Chapter 3, exponents. Chapter 4, polynomials. Forgive me if I say something wrong. Chapter 5, factoring. Chapter 6, radicals. Chapter 7, solving equations. Chapter 8 is also solving equations. Chapter 9 is word problem equations. Chapter 10 is inequalities. Chapter 11 is graphing equations. Chapter 12 is graphing lines. Chapter 13, equations of lines. Chapter 14, linear word problems and analyzing graphs. Chapter 15, solving systems of equations. Chapter 16, quadratic equations. Chapter 17, percent and scientific notation. And then you have the reviews for the final exam. So I'm not going to show you all of this, but with every chapter, Mr. Denison does a great job in giving you basically cheat sheets of sorts to help you focus on the main points of the chapter and to really give you those things that kind of stick in your head to help you process the problems when you go to do them. So he has one for every chapter that he does. The Denison method is always great because he gives you really ways to help your math be successful. He's really great and supportive, and he knows how to really provide some basic good lessons in good habits. All right, so again, first chapter is integers. This is where my son did do some schoolwork already. As you can see, it's very simple. There's nothing really too hard in this at all. Jumping ahead a few lessons. And then here at the end of every chapter, we have a practice test, which is very helpful before going on to the next chapter. And basically after that chapter test, then I have a separate book that is actually just for the tests, and that's in a completely different book, a 3-ring binder that I put in. They send us the answer keys to the test and the tests in a package, basically with it's already hole punched for a 3-ring binder, and so that's what we put the tests in. So this is just the workbook. So again, there's tons and tons of lessons in this book, so I'm not going to go over all of them, but just to kind of give you an idea, most lessons are 2 to 3 pages. It's not overwhelming in comparison to other maths out there. Mr. Denison is not focused on how many problems, but the accuracy of the few problems, and that way you don't get discouraged as easily because your brain just doesn't get as overwhelmed. All right, so moving along here, again, I'm really just grabbing and flipping through. He definitely covers a lot this year, and I think it's good because it's going to be a great foundation for Algebra 2 if we go that route. We also have the opportunity to do geometry as well. So we'll see how this year goes. I'm pretty excited about, you know, even though there might be areas that we might struggle with here and there, I think that overall Mr. Denison truly does set up every student up for success. And if they get the basic knowledge, the basic foundational strategies of math and understanding the concepts, then it really does help encourage the student to know that they don't have to be intimidated by math as much. If you feel like even this may be a little too much for your student, he does also have a different version of his courses online. I believe they're called Success. Don't quote me on that, but they are more geared toward even a more simple approach for students that do have maybe learning disabilities of some kind, or just even more struggle in math than some of this. You'd have to go onto his website and kind of compare and see what he says. He gives an example and kind of shares what the difference is between the two. But this is not the Success version. This is just the basic version of Algebra 1. So I hope this kind of gives you a really good idea of math with Denison Algebra. And the videos are they follow along exactly with these lessons. And he writes them down on the videos with the student. So he wants you to do this. He wants the student to do the problems along with him. And it's really done really well in a way that grabs your attention. That's not super boring. The videos are not long. That's something that I love so much, is that it doesn't feel like it drags and drags on where your brain just loses focus. And I know he does that purposely, again, for the success of the student and even the ease of the teacher, because it can be very stressful for us teaching something, especially if we didn't do good in school ourselves on this subject. Getting to the end of the book here. Okay, in the back is the exams, the review of the exams. That is it for the student textbook. This is the solutions manual. It is not really a teacher's guide, so I'm not going to go through it really much at all, other than to tell you that it just clearly has the solutions written down, and this is pretty much exactly how he has it written down on the videos. It's pretty much a copy and paste of what the video screenshot is when he has his answers written. So these were actually written by Mr. Denison, you know, and put in the book from the lessons. So you can kind of see how he does write them out really well, very clearly. And so this is exactly what you're going to see in the video. So you know that he's actually doing these things step by step as he's writing it out in the video, but this is the final image you see basically in the lesson. So you know exactly what you're getting. If you don't want to do the lesson that day for whatever reason, or you just don't get around to it, you can at least, as the parent, know exactly what he did. And then if you need to, obviously the video is there to definitely go ahead and teach the lesson. So if I'm going too fast, you could just pause the video here when you're glancing at some of this. There's just a lot here, and I don't want to take too much time to look at all the different answers, but you get the idea of how it's set up. So here is the folder that I put the parent guide and test booklet in. This book gives you any other information you may need as the parent, as the teacher, any other extra questions you may have. Kind of gives you an explanation of different resources that he gives. And this is your pacing guide to kind of show you estimated how many days it should take you to go through the different chapters. This is an area where you can record your grades if you choose to do so here. And I already took out test 1 because we're actually taking it tomorrow, but this is basically the same exact thing for chapter 2. There's a form 1 and a form B with every test. You can choose if you would like. If your student really struggled on the form A, Mr. Denison doesn't want the student to feel intimidated. So he chooses to give an extra test. If you choose to use it for whatever your reasons may be, he does put them in there. Skipping to the middle here, there's the final exam. And then in the center is all the test solutions. So it talks about the grading on each test. And each test may vary a bit based off how many problems are in there. And then basically the exact same thing. I'm not going to go over this, but the same way he does the solutions for the textbook is the same way he does the solutions for the tests themselves. Very easy to read, very easy to normally understand. Pretty much it for Denison Algebra. I think it's going really well for us so far. It's not overwhelming. I'm sure there might be some parts and some chapters that are going to be, maybe a little bit more challenging than others. But overall, we're having an easy time of it, and I'm so thankful for Mr. Denison and all the resources he gives. So I would definitely check Denison Algebra out for your high schooler if you're very interested or you're just kind of lost and needing some help. Even though you don't see my face today, I just wanted to let you know thanks for watching, and check out my next video coming soon.